Today we are going to be studying about the age of exploration. One of the big important things to note about the age of exploration is trade is what sort of led the way to the edge of exploration. Starting off with joint stock companies, you had businesses in which groups of people invested together so that the brunt of the investment was not on one person, it was actually on a group of people. So people were more willing to invest on these different trade routes and stuff like that. Um, during this time, Europe was trading with Africa. A lot of the trade was based off of gold, ivory, salt, and slaves. There was also trade going on with Asia, obviously silk being a big one, and spices. And one of the big things to note is that overland trade became extremely dangerous and unreliable. You never knew if people were going to be coming back with the goods that you invested in. So they wanted to try to find new sea routes to sort of go around, especially during this time, the Ottoman Empire, who were blocking a lot of these trade routes. During this time, there were a lot of advancements in technology as well. Obviously, the magnetic compass being a very large one, which allowed sailors to navigate on the sea. The astrolabe, which allowed navigators to learn their ship's location by charting the position of the stars. And then we also had advancements in charts and other instruments to help aid in sea navigation. During this time, the Portuguese were the ones that sort of led the way to the age of exploration, starting off with Bartholomew Diaz. Prince Harry sent him to find a new route to India in 1488. During this route, a huge storm actually came in, and his crew got really freaked out during this storm. It blew them to the south point of Africa. So because of this horrible storm and them surviving, they named it the Cape of Good Hope. They actually never finished this route because of the storm. Everybody got too freaked out, and the crew wanted to go back home from southern Africa. So in 1497, Prince Henry sent Vasco da Gama on Diaz's route to find a new route to India. The following year, they got around Africa and made it to India, and they found the very first sea route to Asia. Obviously, an explorer during this time that a lot of us Americans know about, Christopher Columbus. On August 3rd, 1492, Columbus and three ships set sail, the Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria. On October 12th, 1492, Columbus lands on the island of San Salvador, and Columbus thought he found a western route to Asia. That obviously was not the case. Their main interest during this time was gold. Obviously, territory was also a big important one, but gold was the main driving point, wealth and riches. Columbus ended up making 3 trips to the America before he died in 1506. Some other explorers that are important to note, we have Amerigo Vespucci, which was an Italian explorer. We also have Ferdinand Magellan, which was a Portuguese captain during this time. One of the big things that occurred during Columbus's time was known as the Columbian Exchange. This is the transfer of plants, animals, and diseases, and it became known as the Columbian Exchange because it resulted from Columbus's explorations. Some of the things that were traded from North and South America included beans, cocoa, corn, peanuts, potatoes, pumpkins, squash, sweet potatoes, tobacco, tomatoes, and turkeys. The things that were sent over from Africa and Europe and came over to the Americas were bananas, cattle, citrus fruits, diseases, grains, grapes, honeybees, horses, peaches, pears, pigs, and sugar cane. We are now going to watch this video on the age of exploration real quick. It's a brief video.
Imagine you are a Portuguese navigator. The year is 1455, and you have just departed from Lisbon on an exploratory voyage down Africa's west coast. You are searching for a new sea route to Asia. As your ship passes the Azores, you spot a humpback whale. It's 50 feet long, and water is spouting from the top of its head. Not knowing what to make of such a creature, you quickly turn your ship and head for home. The first explorers who sailed the ocean spotted monsters that filled them with terror, and so, as long as man believed that the oceans were not navigable, the continents of the earth remained divided. Of course, civilizations flourished around the globe, but separated by the menacing oceans, they often existed in isolation. Great breakthroughs came late in the 15th century. In 1488, a Portuguese explorer named Bartholomew Dias reached the southern tip of Africa, proving that ships could indeed round Africa to reach Asia by the sea. More explorers followed, lured by the promise of gold, spices, and slaves. By 1493, some Europeans divided the world for the purpose of exploration. An imaginary line of demarcation was drawn by the Pope, allowing Spain to explore the lands to the west and Portugal to explore the lands to the east. Later, in the 16th century, northern Europeans would challenge the domination of Spain and Portugal over the ocean. England, France, and the Netherlands launched their own expeditions in the northern seas. The age of exploration brought far-reaching changes to the world. Different cultures met for the first time, and goods and ideas were traded throughout the globe. Entire civilizations in Central and South America were conquered by the explorers, who pillaged their riches to fuel a new European economy. Shipping, banking, and overseas trade flourished in the new and expanding Europe. Ever since the first sea monsters were spotted on those early voyages across the oceans, human beings have not stopped exploring, often in ways that our ancestors could not even have imagined. Here, for example, on the coldest, driest, and windiest continent on the planet, Antarctica, scientists are preparing for a future voyage to Mars.
The study of life in the Antarctic, life clinging to the very edge of existence in this extremely hostile environment, gives us clues to what we might look for in terms of life on Mars or evidence for ancient life on Mars.
In Antarctica and all around us, the age of exploration continues.
So that is our video on the age of exploration, and as you can see, we continue to explore things on a consistent basis, and we're even going as far as outer space now. So let's move on to our activity. We have the age of exploration activity. What you guys are going to be doing today is looking at page 662. You're referring back to that. It's going to show you guys the different continents, and what I want you guys to do on this is label out the various continents. You guys are going to have to color in your key so that everybody understands what the legend is presenting, and then you guys are going to show the various routes of the Dutch, the English, and the French during the age of exploration and marking out those various territories. Here are some of the references that I used for this PowerPoint. And here are some of the standards, Common Core standards, as well as the history, social science standards that are going to be done in this PowerPoint.